Welcome back to Dark Whispers, where every night holds a new whisper in the dark. Tonight, we continue the tale of the fisherman and the Jinni begun many nights ago. Previously, we heard how the fisherman, after many fruitless casts of his net, found an old brass jar instead of fish. When he pried it open, he unleashed a furious Jinni imprisoned within it for centuries. The creature swore vengeance on the fisherman for disturbing its rest. But our hero, clever and quick of wit, tricked the spirit back into the jar and sealed it once more. Now, desperate for food and with his children starving, he took the jar to the shore and begged the Jinni for mercy. The Jinni, impressed by the fisherman's cunning, proposed a test. If the fisherman would take him to a secret lake, he would be rewarded with untold riches. And so, under the Jinni's guidance, the fisherman left his village and crossed the barren lands until they reached a hidden valley. There, nestled between jagged rocks, lay a lake unlike any other. Its waters shimmered with strange hues of sapphire, emerald, crimson, and pearl. Then the Jinni revealed his plan. If the fisherman would cast his net in the lake, he would catch 4 miraculous fish, each more precious than the last. These fish, the Jinni promised, would bring great fortune to their owner. And without another word, the Jinni vanished in a puff of smoke, leaving the fisherman trembling by the lake. Taking a deep breath, the fisherman cast his net into the mysterious water. He prayed silently for success, for his children's sake. As he pulled in the heavy net, his heart pounded with hope. Breaking through the water, the net glistened, holding inside 4 wondrous fish, each more magnificent than the last. There was one as blue as a sapphire, its scales sparkling like stars scattered across its back. Then there was another that shone with a bright yellow glow of gold, so radiant it almost blinded the fisherman. The third fish blazed like a burning ember, its gills the color of fresh blood against the lake's shimmering surface. Finally, the 4th fish shimmered with a cool, pearly light, pale as the full moon on a clear winter's night. Overcome with awe, the fisherman sank to his knees beside the lake. He had never seen such creatures. Were they real or some figment of his tired imagination? Suddenly, he remembered the Jinn's words, and a smile touched his lips. With shaking hands, he placed the 4 fish carefully in his basket and hurried home. As he walked through the dusty streets of his village, the sight of the glowing basket drew stares from the townsfolk. Many whispered of miracles and magic, but no one dared approach the fisherman. When he arrived at the Sultan's palace and the guards saw the basket, they too stood mesmerized. The fisherman, still trembling with excitement, asked to see the Sultan and soon stood before the ruler himself. The Sultan's eyes widened at the sight of the glistening fish. "I have ruled for many years," he said slowly, "but never have I seen such marvels. How did you find them? Where did they come from?" The fisherman hesitated. How could he explain the talking Jinni, the mysterious lake? Instead, he bowed low. "My lord, they are a gift from the waters. If your cooks can prepare them, you shall taste foods unknown." The Sultan nodded, more intrigued than ever. "See that it is done at once. Bring me word if anything remarkable occurs." The fisherman watched as the fish were taken to the kitchens. He waited anxiously, wondering what would happen next. What could possibly come from eating fish that seemed almost magical? Soon, however, the palace servants returned, their faces ashen with fear. "You must come quickly," one stammered. "Something terrible has happened." As the fisherman hurried toward the kitchens, he heard the Sultan's shocked voice carried on the wind. "What is this sorcery? Who put this curse upon my palace?" Bursting through the doors, the fisherman saw a horrifying sight. In the center of the room, the fish lay cooked upon a silver platter. But now their forms seemed to writhe and twist, their brilliant colors draining away, replaced by dull scales and lifeless eyes. Yet, even in their dying moments, the fish spoke, their voices strange and haunting. "Beware, beware, for we are not what we seem. We are bound by a curse, and whoever eats us shall taste the sorrow of a forgotten kingdom. The cook slumped to his knees, dropping his ladle. Servants screamed and fled the kitchen in terror. The Sultan sat frozen, staring at the cursed fish in front of him. Alarmed by what he had unleashed, the fisherman approached cautiously. "My lord, I meant you no harm, only wished to help you and my people." The Sultan looked up, his eyes wide with fear and confusion. "Help me," he whispered urgently. "Undo this curse, or our entire kingdom will suffer." Now, the fisherman knew that he was in grave danger. Not only had he angered a powerful genie, but he had unwittingly brought a curse upon the Sultan and his people. But how could he break the spell? In his desperation, the fisherman fell to his knees and begged the Sultan for forgiveness. He explained everything about the genie, the lake, and the fish, hoping for mercy. The Sultan, realizing the truth, embraced the fisherman, forgiving him instantly. Together, they devised a plan. The Sultan would don the fisherman's old coarse robes, while the fisherman would take his place as the ruler. Then they would journey together to the mysterious lake and seek the genie's help. Only he could undo the curse that now threatened their kingdom. Night fell and the villagers slept. The fishermen led the Sultan away from the palace. Their steps were silent, their faces grim, illuminated only by the soft glow of the moon. After many hours of travel, they arrived back at the lake. Its surface shimmered eerily in the moonlight, hiding many secrets beneath its depths. The fishermen hesitated, but he had no idea how or even if they would find the genie. Suddenly, a cold wind swept across the lake. The water swirled, and from its depths rose the genie. He towered over them, his form vast and imposing. But in his eyes flickered a hint of the former playful spirit. "You have come for aid," the genie boomed, his voice echoing across the valley. "Speak quickly, for I am weary of waiting." The fisherman stepped forward. He explained how the curse had spread through the kingdom, tainting the Sultan and his court. Ki begged the genie for help. Genie listened patiently, his expression unreadable. When the fisherman finished, a long silence hung heavy over the lake. The only sound was the lapping of the water against the shore. Finally, the genie spoke. "For your cleverness in tricking me the first time, I will grant you one boon. Ask anything, and it shall be done." The fisherman hesitated. He wanted to ask for the curse to be broken, but he knew that would take more than a simple wish. Instead, he decided to be cautious. "I ask only that you guide me to undo this curse. Show me how to restore the Sultan and my people." The genie regarded him for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "Very well, follow me." And without another word, the genie plunged into the lake. The water swirled around him, and in a blink, he had vanished from sight. The fisherman and the Sultan exchanged glances. Then, taking a deep breath, they followed the genie into the depths of the lake. Beneath the water, the world shimmered with strange lights. Glowing plants swayed around them, and fantastical creatures swam past, their eyes filled with ancient wisdom. At last, the genie stopped before a massive, pearl-encrusted archway. It pulsed with power, hiding a magical current behind its shimmering surface. "Here," the genie boomed, "lies the source of the curse. Break the lock upon the arch, and the curse will end." He pointed to a tarnished key floating nearby. Before the fisherman and the Sultan could move, however, the genie vanished once more. Now, alone, the two men approached the arch. The key floated just out of reach, guarded by swirling currents. As the fisherman reached for it, though, unseen forces knocked him away. Again and again, he tried, but each time he neared the key, he was flung back. Frustrated and bruised, the fisherman fell to his knees. Just as he was about to give up hope, the Sultan touched his shoulder. "Do not despair," he said quietly. "We face a powerful enemy, but we fight for our people and our home. Do not falter now." His words sparked a new determination in the fisherman's heart. He wiped the dirt from his clothes and stood facing the arch once more. Taking a deep breath, he focused all his strength and lunged for the floating key. This time, nothing moved to stop him. Gently, he lifted the key and inserted it into the lock. As the final wards clicked into place, the arch exploded with light. The world spun around the fisherman, and when it settled, he found himself back in the familiar darkness of the night. He turned to the Sultan, breathless with triumph. It is done. The curse is broken. Together, they raced toward the palace, eager to tell the villagers the good news. As the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, the curse lifted from the Sultan and his people. They celebrated for days, praising the fisherman's bravery and quick thinking. For without him, their kingdom would have been lost. And so, thanks to his courage, peace returned to the land. The fisherman and his family lived in comfort, forever grateful that he had chosen to face the genie's challenge. And thus concludes the tale of the fisherman and the genie. Part 8. May its lessons of bravery and wit guide you always. This is Dark Whispers. Remember, dear listener, every night the darkness whispers a new story. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a tale. Until tomorrow, may your days be filled with laughter and your nights with sweet dreams.